right, so we're here with Jamal Richardson, Spencer Richardson, the Richardson family.
Yep.
They got the team B-Wright going. Got the girls program, man, one of the top programs in the country. That's real big, man. How y'all boys doing?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Blessed.
Can't complain at all, man. Just glad to be here with you guys.
Right. Well, man, you know what I'm saying? We see y'all doing a lot of big things out here, man, on the circuit. You're doing a lot of things out here with the girls, you know, traveling all over the country. You know, places, Georgia, Philadelphia, you know, all over the place, man. You know, y'all got things on lock right now.
Yeah, we like to, we like to claim that we doing something out here, man. So, it's just been a long grind, been a hard grind, and it started with this guy, his vision, man. And I'm glad to be a part of it. Glad to be a part of something special.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, that was one of our first questions. Like, how did AAG get into the training business? Just started, period. Speak on that, Spencer.
Yeah, man. Just started out volunteering, coaching about 10 years ago, and I had a lady pull me to the side and ask me could I train her son, and me not really knowing what to charge or basically what to do, I just kind of said yes and put a price on it, and then from there people started noticing her son improving, and then from there just kind of word of mouth, and it just kind of took off.
Now, Jamal, you kind of got into it a little later down the road. So, how did your involvement get into that?
My involvement came when I came back from school, played at Auburn Montgomery,
right?
And Spencer hit me up, told me about what he was doing, and I made that transition from. That's why I stopped playing. And I was at Tennessee, transferred to Tennessee State, and so I had a lot of idle time. You know what I'm saying? So Spencer hit me up, told me about his game plan, told me about what he had going on.
Right.
So I just been helping him out, man, and been running with him ever since.
Okay. All right. So now, not only do you guys do travel with the girls, you have the running gun camp, right? And I, just finished up 10 years, right? This was the 10 years summer. So now, tell us a little listeners about that and name some of the alumni from that running gun camp.
Yeah, the running gun camp especially, shout out to Coach Brian Penny Collins, his vision. We started over at Watkins Park 10 years ago, and now we're over here at Brentwood Academy. And also shout out Brandon Wright, putting his name on the camp. Alumni, guys like Asa Duvall, Trenton Perry, Jamonte Graham,
Jordan Bone, Thomas Booker, Kenny Cooper. Shoot, man, really.
Anybody in the mid-state?
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
This goes on, man.
Definitely.
And running gun camp was, it's good to see it grow, man. I was with y'all boys at the beginning at Watkins Park, man. It was a lot, and I think that's kind of how, Spencer, I believe you got into the girls. I think off that running gun camp, you started with the girls, kind of off of that, right? First time we did the girls camp, I think we might have had, 12 to 15?
Yeah.
So, how do you think that kind of, spearheaded into that? Is that where that thought process of doing the travel girls came from, or how did you say they played a part into that?
Yeah, it played a part. The first running gun camp, I pretty much, Penny, the running gun camp is a 3 to 4 day process, and I basically went to Penny and said, let's make this a year-round thing, and that's kind of like how the training started. And then when we did the girls camp, it gave me an opportunity to see some of the top players in the city. Girls like Tangela Crenshaw, Tori Henley, and Alexis Lang, and some of those girls. And when I seen some of the skill set and some of the potential with those girls, we just kind of started from there.
Now, the synonymous question was that, how did you guys decide to pick girls travel circuit over guys?
Well, I think, when I first got started, I was on the boys' side actually, but definitely on like a smaller scale. But I tell you, man, when Spencer, first brought it to me, in terms of coaching, at first I was like, man, nah, I ain't, this might not be for me. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, nah, cuz he said, I'm telling you, once you get over here, you ain't gonna want to go back. You know what I'm saying? And I think really it's more so just the exposure aspect. It's a lot more exposure on the girls' side of things than it is on the boys' side. Outside of, on the boys' side, you got Nike, Adidas, and you got Under Armour. But anything outside of that, you're kind of very limited from an exposure standpoint. But on the girls' side, I mean, just travel circle alone is such a huge market. And really, the independent tournaments really kind of outweigh, you know, the Nike EYBL and, you know, Adidas and all on the girls' side.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I think that's one reason why, you know, we definitely decided to, you know, do it on the girls' side. And then too, talent. You know, the talent base in the Middle Tennessee area, man. Girls basketball here is huge.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
we're known, the state of Tennessee within itself is known as one of like the top states to produce girls basketball. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's part, you know, that's part of the reason though.
Okay. Now, we know some of the girls got some big time offers, and you know, you guys can speak on some of the girls and whether some of those offers are for the listeners that don't know, and then also tell us what are some of the best players you've seen on that circuit also.
Yeah, just to name a few girls in our program. I mean, you got girls like Erica Haynes Overton, who's been highly recruited. Bria Dow, you know, she's committed to UTC. We got Janaya Sandifer from Pearl-Cohn. She recently committed to Troy. We got Lauren Fields over at Hillsborough. She's going to be attending Queens University. Caitlin Moore will be attending Queens University. And Emmeline Payne, she committed to UAH, Alabama Huntsville.
Keisha.
And Keisha Brady. You know, this funny. Keisha actually, you know, we was playing in Atlanta, and we was playing against the South Carolina 76ers, and they got a girl that's very, very talented that had got an offer from University of North Carolina. And Keisha just had one of those games, you know, where she was the best player on the floor. And North Carolina came in late on Keisha. It didn't work out. Keisha decided to attend Tennessee Tech because, you know, they highly recruited her. But just to show you, you know, when you put yourself in a position in front of big-time coaches, you know, anything can happen.
Right.
On the circuit, just some of the best players that I've seen, just hands down. You know, of course, Megan Walker from Boo Williams, Samantha Brunel. She was with Boo Williams, but now they changed over to Team Loaded. She's the top. She's the number one player in the class 2019. Me and Jamal, we both had a chance to sit down and watch her play in July up in Smyrna, Tennessee at Hooptown, and just a skilled, highly skilled player. Like you can tell, she's in the gym 6 or 7 days a week.
Most definitely. Now, so I know you guys. So I know that you guys are really trying to press like getting to school. Didn't matter where you go, as long as you get there and get that education.
Yep.
And I think that kind of separates you guys from every other state-funded AAU program. What other things separate you guys from other state programs?
Well, I think, man, one of the main reasons why I think, you know, we're at where we are right now, you know, we like to create a family atmosphere here, you know what I'm saying? So, one thing about us, man, we walk in the gym, you know, you're gonna know who we are, you know what I'm saying? We like to, you know, really bring that energy, and one thing about it is, you know, when one of our teams is playing, and the rest of the girls, man, they do a great job of just showing support, you know what I'm saying? And we've been predominantly known as the loudest team in the country, you know what I'm saying? So we come in, we come in, we live, and then, you know, myself and Spencer, man, we come with some shenanigans on the sideline. We talk, we like to get, like keep it fun, we like, we talk funky, you know what I'm saying? And, let everybody know what time it is, where we from, and all that good stuff. And really, it's just the energy. I think that's one thing, man. And then two, like you just mentioned, Jay, just trying to get girls to school no matter the level. You know what I mean? And that's the most important thing that we're trying to emphasize to parents and kids. You know what I'm saying? So, some people get caught on, I want to play D1, and which is cool. I'm not saying that you can't shoot for it, but you gotta be realistic with yourself too. You know what I'm saying? We like to keep it, shoot it straight with it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
And just to piggyback on that, another thing that separates us, people don't understand the importance of, I tell people all the time, you can be on a great team, but that doesn't mean you're going to get a scholarship. Mm-hmm. Just because you throw on a Brandon Wright jersey, that doesn't mean that you're going to go play on any level. But this is what we do 7 days a week. So our people get up and go, and go to their respective jobs. I come to Brentwood Academy in different gyms in the city, and our girls, they have an opportunity to come and work on their game. You know, I tell people all the time, you know, I always brag on Lejay Davidson because she's somebody that all the girls know and respect. And when I first got her 3 summers ago, you know, her 9th grade summer, if somebody would have asked me, was she going to go play college basketball, I probably would have said no. But when she decided that she wanted to be a basketball player, she got in the gym nonstop all the time. And now she's at Furman University. And for people that don't know, that's a $240,000 scholarship.
Right. All right, now, so speaking of that, you know, doing the travel basketball, you know, there's a lot going on right now with high school basketball.
Right.
So we're going to kind of touch on some of those things. The first thing is going to be, what is the difference? What do you think the biggest difference is between travel basketball and your regular high school basketball?
I think, man, the biggest difference is competition level, for sure. You know, one thing about playing on the circuit, man, I mean, game in and game out, you know, you're liable to lock up with some of the top players and top teams in the country. You know what I'm saying? And so, just from that, you know, that competitive standpoint, you know, girls know it's a lot on the line. You know what I'm saying? When you got a baseline full of coaches, and then it's only maybe 2 or 3 scholarships available. That's what you're playing for.
Right.
You may be matched up with somebody that's on a school's recruiting board. You know, you may be matched up with a shooting guard, and you know, y'all kind of similar, but you know, you get that opportunity to see who's better. You know what I'm saying? And so, and then too, man, the speed of the game. I think the style of play, speed of the game is a lot faster, a lot more aggressive. That's one thing. It's super aggressive. When you think you got a lot of these teams that accumulate some of the top talent in their respective cities and states, and the speed of the game is just crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I think those are probably 2 of the biggest glaring differences between high school ball and AAU ball, without a doubt.
Yeah, and just to kind of piggyback off Jamal, you know, when you're playing against some of the top teams in the country, and you don't even know, you know, there's no scouting report.
Right.
You know, for high school, you kind of pass film around and kind of prepare, but you know, that's why in practice, the small time we do get with the girls, we're trying to focus on what we do best.
Right.
How we want to play defense, you know, how we want to score the ball. And our girls, they do such a great job of just becoming great at what we do, till it gets to the point to where it doesn't matter who we play. And on the circuit, even, you know, if we play 60 games from March through July, even if you do go out and win by, you know, 20 or 30, it's going to be the hardest 20 or 30 points you done had to win by. You know, and sometimes in high school, you know, it's just safe to say, you know, sometimes the kids don't even really break a sweat because sometimes the competition is just that bad.
Right.
You know?
So it's a big gap between the level between the 2 teams.
Yeah.
Okay. So speaking on that, right now, and Jamal, you know, we kind of spoke about this and kind of piggyback this here. What do you think is the relationship situation right now between travel coaches like you guys and high school coaches? You know, you hear a lot of talk about some high school coaches don't like travel coaches, and
Right.
travel coaches don't like high school coaches.
Yep.
What do you think the disconnect is between that, and why is there a disconnect with that?
I think the biggest thing is just ego. 2 things, I think, ego and control. One thing is, as coaches, we like to have control of situations and control our players. But I think one of the things that makes that disconnect, so large and ingrained is the fact that there's no communication. So one thing about what we do here is, we definitely encourage high school coaches to come in, and they can come and witness workouts, they can come to practices, we encourage them to come to games. Because the biggest thing is no side is bigger than the other, so, and we also got to keep in mind, it's about the kids at the end of the day, so I think, once those conversations are had to where high school coaches and AAU coaches can kind of sit down and really just, put together a game plan on how, what can we do and what do we need to do to help these kids get better, because on both sides, it's going to benefit the kid, but like I said, it's always just been like a constant back and forth between both sides, and really, I really feel like it really can play advantage to high school coaches when you have a program established like such as ourselves and Team Penny out of Memphis, and a lot of different programs here in the state of Tennessee. Well, that is a pipeline that you can create, you know what I'm saying? And it's all about establishing a good, healthy relationship between both sides, you know what I'm saying? And so, really, you know, we want to help them out. You know, that's what it boils down to, you know what I'm saying? So, I think that's one of the reasons why it's such a big disconnect.
Do you think it's improved since you guys started compared to now, or has it gotten worse? As far as the disconnect between coaches?
It kind of is. I want to say, man, it's still kind of stale, mate. It's gotten better to a certain degree, but then again, you know, you got some that just, you know, are just going against the grain anyway. You know, and you know when you have, you know, we hear comments from our players, you know, coming back and saying, well, you know, our high school coaches are saying that, you know, you guys don't know what you're doing and this, that, and the third. But then again, you know, they've yet to come to a practice, come to a workout, and that's why we, again, you know, we're always going to leave that open door policy. So definitely want to send a shout out to Coach Lindy King at Stewart's Creek High School. She's, in my opinion, one of the best coaches in the state of Tennessee. You know, recently won a state championship at MLK, but two of her girls, Brandy and Brianna Fergie twins, you know, she's been very, very adamant and very involved with their recruiting process, and then also too coming to support. She's come to plenty of our practices. She came to some games last year, and again, I mean, she's always been having a willing and openness to, you know, learning from us, and likewise we learn from her too. You know, so and that's just the biggest thing, man. Is again just starting a conversation. I think that's the biggest thing, man. So just sitting down and getting both sides together and coming up, you know, with a solution.
Because a lot of times you hear that problems I hear that some high school coaches have with travel basketball is that they say that it kind of gives the kid a mentality of, if I lose this game, I can keep playing, you know, versus when they in high school, every game really counts.
Right.
But on a travel circuit, those games count too because they're pool play.
Exactly.
You know, you lose those first games, yeah, you get to play again, but you're not playing for nothing. You know, you won't be able to become a top program like Team B-Wright if you're losing 2 or 3 pool games, winning 1 game, and then not doing anything after that. Yeah. To get those rankings like you guys have got, you have to win those tournaments. You know, you have to go to big tournaments and win those tournaments, and that's something you guys have done. So, you know, like you said, it comes down to communication. You know, some other high school coaches say they don't like it because they teach the kids this, and then when they go play for their travel teams, they teach them something else.
Right.
So I think that's where the communication comes in, like you guys are doing, having that open door policy that would eliminate a lot of the problems that some high school coaches are having with travel coaches. Mm-hmm. So, and it's good because a lot of programs, they don't have that open door policy.
Right.
You know, they don't want nobody coming into their gym. They don't want anybody coming to watch and see what they're doing. What you guys are doing is, it makes it easier, you know. Come watch us. We build a relationship with you. You know, make it easier for the kids. And like I said, at the end of the day, it is all about the kids. So it's good that you guys are doing that. So based on the girls, who would you say girls basketball players should pattern their game after? Should they pattern their games after men? Should they pattern their games after women? Or both? Or what are your thoughts about that?
I think both. You know, just, you know, watching the WNBA finals, you know, you got some females out there, you know, like just watching Candace Parker, you know, the other night, you know, just catching at the elbow and, you know, taking 1 or 2 dribbles, she at the rim. You know, the other girl, I don't want to murder her name.
Plays for Sparks too.
Yeah.
What's the name?
Agumaka. Yeah. She's just fantastic. I mean, I think she missed her first shot and made like her last 7 or 8 in a row. I mean, just big time players. I would, you know, so from that standpoint, I definitely think you can look at players like those girls. I mean, like those women, and then on the, you know, from as far as the men's side, just the confidence and the swagger that, you know, that those players bring. You know, and we have girls in our program, you know, for the most part, to where, you know, we try to run a lot of quick hitting sets. You know, to where, you know, we got girls that can shoot the ball. You know, we try to, you know, get them off single and double stagger screens so they can show that they can shoot the ball. If we got girls that can handle the ball, you know, we try to put them in ball screen situations so they can come off and show the coaches that they can make the right reads.
What's the main reason why you guys think that the girls' game is so fundamentally sound? Because me and Coach were watching that same WNBA game, and it's just like the high level of basketball to play at that level is so much higher compared to guys, you know, being athletic, we can kind of pass with our athleticism. Why do you think the girls' game is so fundamentally sound?
Yeah, just like you said, you know, you got guys play above the rim, you know, just, you know, bigger, faster, stronger for the most part. And I mean, like just, you know, right now with the training side, I train more girls than guys. I mean, it's not even close, you know. And I just think, you know, guys have to do it too, but the girls, they have to get in there and work on it. You know, they have to have, you know, elite footwork. They have to be able to shoot the ball. I mean, on the circuit, if you give a girl a wide open look, it's a bucket. You know, they're knocking down wide open mid-range shots. They're knocking down wide open threes. And, you know, just going back to the Brunel kid, I mean, she got jump hook, left hand, right hand. So yeah, you know, it's just, you know, they have to constantly work on their game because, you know, not too many girls are jumping up and, you know, putting their elbows over the rim or whatever.
Right. That was my next question, because how can the WNBA get to a point where they're as big? I don't think it'll ever be as big as the NBA, but how can they get their game to a level where they're not playing in small gyms and things of that nature? What do you think would be the next transgression or something that they need to improve on as far as the WNBA, as far as that total game, girls basketball games, period?
Well, me personally, and I'll let Jamal speak on it, I think it starts right now, you know, with the youth. You know, sports is supposed to be entertaining, you know. So if the girls can, once again, like I tell girls all the time, you coming down and making this big time move and you know, getting the crowd involved is like a high school kid catching a backdoor lob and you know, and bringing the gym down.
Right.
So, you know, not to promote that, but you know, the women's game, when people come to the game, they want to be in awe. You know, they want to be wild. And like I said, there are girls on the circuit that, you know, there's a couple girls on the circuit that I seen that kind of handle the ball like a Darius Garland. You can just tell, you know, that's all they do when they go in the gym. They just work on their handle, you know.
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback on that, man, is, you know, I like to call it the sauce appeal. You know what I'm saying? You know, just, you know, I think, like you just mentioned, I mean, the game is just so fundamentally sound. You know, as a spectator, you know, outside of the average basketball fan, and if you don't really engage and watch women's basketball, you know, the average spectator is going to think it's boring. You know, whereas somebody like us, or the four of us, you know, we love the game and you know, we love sports. Period. You know what I'm saying? So the biggest thing, like Spencer just said, man, is just having that appeal and just having that swagger. I mean, you got players like, you know, Simone Custis, who I think is just one of the best ever. You know what I'm saying? But just her flair, her demeanor, her confidence, and just, you know, like you said, just making those type of plays. Now, I think I don't know how true this is, but I think at one point in time it's been mentioned about them lowering the rims to about 9.5,
Right.
9. You know, and two, I mean, I will say this, man, the girls are becoming more athletic day by day. You know what I'm saying? So you seeing some, you know, as y'all talked about Ryan Howard from Bradley Central, you know, 6'3" and can do it all. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like I said, girls are getting over the rim. You know what I'm saying? They put that thing in. So I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing alley hoops and more athleticism being involved to the game. You know what I'm saying? So.
All right, so, you know, you do a lot of travel basketball, like you said, that's what Team B-Wright is about. Now, when we were coming up, AAU was the big thing. You know, if you didn't make it to the Nationals, you wasn't playing in front of no coaches.
Right.
You know, now with the circuit, you know, the whole month of July especially, you playing a tournament weekend, it's going to be a baseline full of coaches.
Yeah.
So, is it that AAU basketball has lost some of its luster over the past years because of that? Because, you know, with AAU, when you go to the state tournament and sub-state, nobody's really there, but first on the circuit, you play these tournaments, their coaches there every week.
Right.
So how do you think that has affected AAU, or is AAU still as popular as it was back when we were growing up and playing, or what are those differences now?
It's definitely not as popular. You know, AAU to me, I think it's good for the youth. You know, everybody just kind of, you know, everybody wants a number on their head. You know, everybody wants to tweet and walk around and say we're a number 2 team in the country. And I mean, that's fine, but you know, did you really play everybody? You know, but I think it's good. I would say I would say maybe 4th through maybe 7th grade, because now 8th grade, like for example, next year our youngest team is going to be 22s. All right, but 2021s, once you become an 8th grader, you're playing in front of college coaches. We actually had girls, you know, on our 8th grade, on our 2020 team, girls that already just receiving, you know, letters and you know, coaches have reached out to me when they call and asked about some of our older girls. You know, I've had several coaches ask me about, you know, a lot of our girls that graduate 2020. But just getting back to your question, the circuit is just, you know, here's your dates, here's a live weekend, and you know coaches are gonna be there.
Right.
You know, AAU is just kind of, you know, it's almost, you know, it's hit or miss. You know, even if you make it to the nationals in AAU and you're in high school, you know, there's not going to be 300 plus coaches there.
Right, like it is at the big tournaments.
Yeah, you go to Deep South or Boo Williams, or you know, we was a part of the ASGR All-Star Girls Report League. I mean, you know, you're going to see 200 to 300 college coaches, you know, in those events.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's talk about the boys side, man. And you guys have JP Prince, you guys train Pat Miller, going into Brandon Wright. Give us some of the stories that the listeners can know about training those players on such a high level.
I think, man, those guys, yeah, I mean, really, they just come in with just that professional mentality and just that, you know, just that drive and just that edge, man. And, it's kind of funny, man. Just really everything kind of just unfolds as a snowball, you know. So, you know, with him starting with Brandon, man, and you know, with him, you know, helping Brandon get to the point to where he is now, in which I hope Brandon, you know, I hope he listens to this, man. But, you know, Brandon got it. Brandon definitely got to eat. He got to eat. You know what I'm saying? He definitely got to eat. You know, he put in a lot of time in with Spencer, man. I think I've been training for how long? About 6 years now. And Brandon has a lot that he is yet to unfold and unravel. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know, to get back to the question, with him starting with Brandon, man, and then just kind of snowballing it from there, man. You know, from I started working with Pat at TSU, Rob same way, and then you know guys just kind of reached out and said, hey man, you know we working with, I got a trainer, man, I got Jamal and Spencer, man, these 2 guys, they real deal, good to go, and it's just kind of just been unfolding from there, man. So just a lot of it just comes from guys just connecting and talking to each other, you know what I'm saying? And, but those guys, man, I mean they come in, they work hard, they have a mission at hand, man, and they come in. One thing about them, you don't have to worry about them bringing their hard hat because they're gonna come ready to work, just on a professional level, man. So, and a lot of it has to do with, they got families, you know what I'm saying? So you got families to feed, you got mouths to feed, you take care of, man. So that's always a motivating factor, you know what I mean? So.
Okay. All right. So Jamal, we know you stand with the guys that you train in Darius a lot.
Yeah.
So tell the listeners what it's like training a kid like a Darius Garland, who's a top prospect in the country in his class. What is it like training a kid like Darius?
I tell you, man, it's well, first it's a privilege. Let me say that, man. It's a privilege to be able to work with such a great kid, and I think it really just starts with his spirit. I mean, he's a very humble young man and very well grounded. Comes from a great family. You know what I'm saying? But from a training standpoint, it's easy. Just in terms of not having to worry about him, slacking off and kind of going through emotions because he's just so naturally gifted and he's such a good, skilled player. But I try to find ways to keep him challenged, you know what I'm saying, to keep him engaged. So, right now we're at a stage to where I'm sending him a lot of film, I have him study a lot of different point guards. I kind of like to compare him a little bit of Steph, and a lot of people are surprised when I say this. I think he got a little C.J. McCollum in his game as well, just in terms of his shiftiness and his change of pace and speed, and obviously his shooting ability, man. So I try to find ways to just keep him engaged and to find ways to raise his level, man. So I mean, really at this point, it's really easy for him at the high school level. So try to prepare him, for the collegiate level, and then hopefully if everything pans out, a professional level as well. So but he's a great kid, though, man. It's a blessing to be able to work with him, for sure.
So I know you guys gotta get out of here. We're taking up a lot of you guys' time. But for the next 5 to 10 years with AAG, Team B-Wright, kind of let us know what you're planning for the next 5 to 10 years with the program.
Yeah, we just want to, just want to continue to grow it, and just basically just be a place where kids and parents can just come and be a part of the program. And like I said, the number one goal is to give kids a free education. And if they don't, earn a scholarship, the one thing they will take from it is discipline and hard work. I can't tell you how many, I played for Coach Gamble, rest in peace, but some of the values that he taught us at Maplewood, just as far as just from a discipline standpoint, it made me, it helped me, a lot in my everyday life as far as with different choices. But we definitely, Brandon is involved, he's heavy in it, and as long as we're here, I really and truly feel like God put me on this earth, to coach basketball and train kids.
Spence, before we get you, oh no, go ahead, Jamal. Go ahead, get one more.
Yeah, definitely, man, just to continue to do what God has brought us here to do, man. Eventually, man, we want to eventually own our own. I think we want to eventually, have a facility, have our own facility, man, and make it accessible and easy for everyone to, get a hold to it, man, and just, bring, anybody that wants to come in and grind, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely want to send a shout out to all the other training programs and trainers out there in basketball programs. We got Marcus Kendrick with Skill Wing, got NYBA with Dante Jones and Corey Allen and those guys, and handles and buckets with Tay Campbell and Big Tony Campbell, man. So got a lot of good programs out here doing good stuff, man. And just continue to do it, continue to do what they do, and we're gonna continue to do what we do as well, man. But yeah, definitely, we're gonna just keep pushing for sure.
Okay, now, so before we get out of here, for the listeners, is anybody out there that want to get in contact with you guys and, get some training
sessions? Before we do that now, Spence, listen now, Spence. Coach Locke, usually we sit across here, Coach Locke, he's like, man, he's real confident about that jump shot, right?
Yeah.
Coach Locke think he got a rush. Right now, shooting at 10. Now, Spence, I've been knowing you since high school.
Yeah.
You got a rush.
Yeah, it's going down.
Out of 10, Coach Locke, who winning that out of 10?
Are we going high school line, college line, 3-point line?
Pick one.
Locke can shoot. He got a cannon, but Locke, as you can see, Locke he's a big boy. So that jump shot might go, it might go long, but I'm knocking it down. I'm in the gym, and this true story. I really couldn't handle the ball in high school. I was a straight line driver, so if you made a mistake, closed out, on my left hand, I could go right. But it wasn't until I started training kids and just being in the gym and put people through ball handling drills. And then, when I got in my mid-20s, when I would play in leagues and play in tournaments, and guys were like, hold on, Spence, when did you get that? So, so it's almost, as long as I'm in the gym and getting up shots and running up and down the court and, playing over here with the BA guys, that jump shot ain't going nowhere.
Nah, definitely let the listeners ways that they get in contact with you guys, social media, however.
On Instagram, you can follow me at AAG Basketball 10. Follow us on Twitter as well. Spencer is all underscore around the game.
AAG Basketball.
AAG Basketball, AAG Basketball, and I'm also AAG Basketball 10 on Twitter as well. Or you can contact us via email at my email is aagbasketball@gmail.com. Well, that's Spencer's, and mine is aagbasketball10@gmail.com. So one of the two. Hit us up in the gym, in the lab every day, so you know where to find us.
Yeah. Go ahead. No.
I just want to shout out my man Brandon Wright. Just giving back, does a fantastic job, and also special thanks to all the Team Brandon Wright parents. The moms, the dads. Spending all the time. Traveling with us during the summer, and then the girls. Thank you for your hard work and dedication.
Sure, man. We appreciate y'all taking the time with Full Sport Press, man, and we definitely gonna keep up Team B-Wright and watch you guys do their work.
Oh yeah, hey Coach Locke, Coach Locke. A lot of people don't know this, y'all. Look, let me tell you something. The first tournament, we told all the girls to bring a pair of black shorts, and I had a red and white reversible, and that was the uniform. But now when we play, it's almost like any, mini, mighty, mo. I just close my eyes and just pick a step. But you know, that's hard work. That's hard work.
You're right, man. You're right, man. You come a long way, man. You come a long way, man.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
man, we're gonna let y'all boys get out of here, man. We appreciate y'all. Thanks for spending that time with Full Sport Press, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate y'all. God bless.